Hey, it's Liz from No Trace. I have another scrap busting project for you, and this is a super cute heart-shaped zipper pouch. It's a really fun size, it makes a wonderful gift, and it actually sews up really fast and easy. So let me show you how. Let me show you the materials that you need to make this heart-shaped pouch with a zipper. I am using a 5-inch zipper for this project, but you could adjust this project to a smaller zipper or even a larger size. You're also going to need a scrap of paper to make your pattern piece, and I'll show you how to do that. And then you'll need some scraps of fabric. I'm just working with organic cotton quilting poplin. And finally, you'll want some cotton batting to create the textured look on your pouch. First thing I did was to make this pattern piece using my 5-inch zipper. So if you use a 5-inch zipper, you are going to draw a heart that is 6 inches here at the point to the tip. So this length is 6 inches, and then I made my width here 7 inches. If you wanted to use a smaller zipper, you would adjust your heart so that it is the height of your zipper at the center. So if you want to go smaller or if you want to go larger, you're just going to change your pattern piece so that this measurement is the same as your zipper when you lay it down. In order to make your heart nice and symmetrical, you can just fold it in half and trace the curve, and then just cut it out like this so that you have two symmetrical sides. The first thing I'm going to do is to cut out the top parts of my heart-shaped pouch. So I am using this scrap of fabric that's actually narrow. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out one side of the heart with part of my scrap, and then I'm going to move this down and cut out the other part. So I'm going to go ahead and trace. I'm tracing on the front. This pen mark will be totally hidden in all of my stitching. So I'm going to trace this part of the heart out. Now, obviously, if you have a scrap that's large enough, you'll just trace your whole heart onto your scrap. But like I said, I'm using a smaller piece. Okay, next I'm going to go over here. Actually, let's go right here and trace the other half of my heart out. Okay, now you probably can barely see that, but I'm going to go ahead and cut out these two heart halves. Okay, I have my two heart halves here. I'm going to set these aside, and now I'm going to use my pattern piece to cut out the inner layers of my bag. I'm going to be using this for the inside. I'm going to flip it over, trace out my heart, and I'm actually going to cut two hearts out. So I might have to get a little more of this fabric in order to get two hearts out of it. All right, I cut out my two liner fabrics, and then I also cut out one fabric that's going to be the back outside of my bag, and I went ahead and cut out the heart. So what we want to do next is we're going to cut our batting into half and one of the liner pieces in half. So I'm going to place this stack them neatly onto each other, and then I'm just going to cut right from this little dip down to the point and make a nice straight line. I'm going to use my rotary cutter and ruler, but you could also just do this with scissors. So now I have two more broken hearts, and here as well. Let me show you how to get these attached to the zipper. Actually, before we attach to the zipper, we are going to quilt the top part of our pouch onto the cotton batting. So I'm going to go ahead and sew some lines like I did on this one that are coming up at an angle from the middle. Okay, at the machine, I bumped up my stitch length to 5 millimeters, which is the longest length I have. And I'm just gonna start, actually let's start this way. I'm just going to imagine a diagonal line here. I'm kind of using this curved edge to guide me a little bit. I'm just gonna go straight down. Okay, there's my first line. Then I'm gonna use that to guide my second line. I'm gonna do these a half inch apart from each other and just go straight down. Okay, and I'm gonna keep quilting this until the whole piece is covered. And then I'll repeat that with my other broken heart. So give me a sec. Okay, I finished quilting the 2 heart halves. I know it's really hard to see, but basically I made my lines go in opposite directions like you see here. So now we can attach to the zipper, and we are going to be attaching the front or the top pieces of the bag and to the 2 liner halves. And I'm going to start with one side and place my zipper right side on top of the right side. And I want these more or less, centered as best I can with each other. And then I've got my binder clips, just my standard office supply binder clips that are metal and plastic free. All right, then I'm going to take my heart half, the one that it's going to go right side of liner fabric to right side of outer fabric. So you want to make sure you get the right side of your broken heart here. And then we are going to add this into the clips. And then we are going to sew these together. I am grabbing my zipper foot here, and I'm going to click this into place. Just like that. And then we can get closer to those metal teeth. I always use metal teeth and cotton zippers, trying to avoid plastic once again. I'm going to turn my stitch length back down to my standard, so like 3 millimeters is where I usually sew. And I'm going to sew straight down with about 1/4 inch seam allowance. And when I get near this zipper pull, I'm going to lift my presser foot. I have a knee bar, so I can lift it with my knee. And then I'm just going to push the pole to the back so that I can get a nice straight line down the rest of my zipper. Okay, so I've attached these pieces to the zipper. You can kind of open it up there and see. And now I'm going to go through those same steps, and I'm going to attach the other 2 heart halves to the other side of the zipper tape. Both sides are attached to the zipper here. So now I'm going to press them really well, and then I'm going to top stitch each side near the zipper. Okay, the next step is to make the loop that's going to go at the top edge of the zipper pouch. And I'm using a scrap of fabric that matches the outer layer. It is 3 inches wide and 3 inches tall, so it's a 3x3 square. You could adjust this, but I wouldn't go much more narrow than 3 inches. I am going to fold it in half and press it. Then I'm going to open it up, bring the edges towards the center, and press it again. And by the way, I have a whole tutorial on how to make all kinds of straps of different sizes, so you should check that out. I'll put it in the description box below this video. Okay, so I brought those raw edges into the middle, folded and pressed, and this is going to go right here. It's going to kind of help my zipper not be too open up there. But first I'm going to do some top stitching, so I'm just going to sew on both sides. Okay, my little strap is top stitched. Again, I'm sorry, it's probably really hard for you to see. And now I am going to pin it up here at the top edge where my zipper opens. Just like so. And then there's very little left to do on this bag. It actually sews up really fast. I feel like I want to make 100 of these. Okay, you just want to make sure to catch both sides of the zipper here. Okay, I think I did it. Yes, okay, so both sides of the zipper are pinned to the loop. So now we are going to place the right side of the, oops, not that one, the right side of the back fabric onto the right side of your pouch. Now this is a solid, so it doesn't really matter, but if you have a print, you want the pretty side to the pretty side. And then we're going to add a couple of pins. Actually, before I do that, then we're going to get our other liner fabric and we're going to put it wrong side to wrong side, which feels weird, but trust me, this is how you do it. Now we can pin all along here, and then we will take it to the machine. I'm so glad I remembered that you actually need to open the zipper. So I'm just going to take a few pins out and open the zipper at least halfway and then pin it. Okay, so you can see that the zipper is open. Now I'm ready to sew. I put my standard presser foot back on the machine, and I also put my stitch length back at my default, which is around 3 millimeters. Now I am just going to take my time and sew all the way around this heart with about a 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch seam allowance. Make sure everything is laying flat before I sew over it. And when I get to the zipper here, I'm just gonna go straight, pretty much straight across the zipper. And then just come back up and then just keep going. Okay, I'm getting near the other end of the zipper where the loop is, and I want to make sure to sew over this and really reinforce it a few times. Okay, once again, I'm just going to go straight across. Okay, and then I'm going to reverse. And then once more. Okay, I broke a needle. So watch out for that. And I replaced it, and I'm ready to keep going. Moving forward here. And I'm just going to follow the curve of the heart. Okay, I took a moment and I checked that I caught all my layers in my seam. It does look good. I did have to fix right here and just catch that a little bit better. So now I am going to take a minute and just trim off the extra fabric away from the seam. And of course, all of those little bits will go into my tiny bits bin, and they'll get repurposed as stuffing or some future TBD creative project. I work with all natural materials, so you could also compost your tiny bits if you're using cotton thread and cotton fabric. But yeah, you don't want to put polyester thread into your compost. That is a form of plastic and it will not break down. Okay. My heart is tidied up, and I'm going to take this back to the machine and just do a zigzag stitch all the way around this raw edge. If you have a serger, you could also use your serger to finish these edges. All right, check out that fancy stitch work there. Okay, we're almost done. So I'm going to open this up all the way, turn it right side out, and press it really well, and then I'll show it to you. It's done. It's so cute and such a fun size. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using this to keep some of my embroidery supplies organized. And if you are looking for more fun scrap busting projects, I'd love for you to check out my membership. Just click on the join button to learn more.